This is chapter number 11, The Making of the National Movement. So, what happened between 1922 and 1929? So, what we have seen is non-cooperation movement, Asahayog Andolan. It was going in full flow. What happens in February 1922? Gandhiji calls it off abruptly. Why? There was a big reason. Because Gandhiji was all about non-violence. So in United Provinces, that is Uttar Pradesh, there is a place called Chauri Chaura. So what happens here is, some peasants, they were demonstrating against certain thing, right? Asahayog Andolan. But the police fired, and some of the peasants, they were killed. Now these peaceful demonstrator now got angry, and they went to Chauri Chaura police station and they set it on fire. 21 policemen were killed. And as I said, Gandhiji only wanted non-violence. And since this non-violence was breached, he abruptly called off non-cooperation movement. So what happened in Chauri Chaura? It stopped the non-cooperation movement which was going on. So once this NCM stopped, or it was called off, Gandhiji stressed the Congress that you need to go to the rural areas, do certain constructive work. That is, if the Britishers are not giving things to rural areas, you need to do something. Now here two people, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru Sahab. Now these two gentlemen, they were basically lawyers. So there were other people also. They were saying that the Congress or party should fight elections for the councils. That is, in order to influence the government policies, government rules, government regulation, we need to be in the government. For that, we need to fight elections. So this was basically raised by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. They were arguing about this. Then finally all these things were going on, and there was a new movement, that was civil disobedience movement, Savinay Avagya Andolan. Okay, so this is civil disobedience movement. In between this, there were two very important development. So there were two organizations. One of this is Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, RSS, and the RSS is backing a party which is BJP, and BJP is now all over India. So this was formulated in mid-1920s. RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, the ideology is Hindutva. That is, basically they are working for Hindus and trying to demean the Muslims, like, we have seen that. So that is what they say. So this happened between mid-1920s. There is one more party which is Communist Party of India. Now these Communist Party of India and RSS, they were formed. And one more person was very active at this time. It was revolutionary nationalist Bhagat Singh. He was also very active. So Bhagat Singh. Now Bhagat Singh Inqilab Zindabad. So now he was basically a Sikh. But for the, cutting hairs in Sikh is very out of, religious. So he was a revolutionary nationalist, and he was a great soul. So he was against, and his friends were against the British rule or colonial rule, and also the rich people who were actually exploiting the peasants and workers. So these two, they were against. So for this reason, for this purpose, he and his friends, they founded a party called HSRA, Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. HSRA was formed in 1928 at a very famous place in Delhi, which is called Firoz Shah Kotla. Firoz Shah Kotla. So the members of the HSRA, they also assassinated, that is killed, Saunders, General Saunders. Who was General Saunders? There was a demonstration, and it was led by Lala Lajpat Rai. So there was a lathi charge, and because of the lathi charge, Lala Lajpat Rai got hurt, and finally he died. So in order to take the revenge, Saunders was killed by HSRA member along with his fellow nationalist, which is BK Dutt. Means Bhagat Singh and BK Dutt, they threw a bomb in Central Legislative Assembly when the session was going on 8th April 1929. This is a very important date. 8 April 1929. And they also threw some leaflet and the pamphlets, flyers you can say. And these flyers were saying that we don't intend to kill anyone. We just want that those deaf ears, people are not listening, Britishers are not listening, the foreign government is not listening about all the exploitation going on. So this is what we want, or we could do to let them hear what we desire, what are our requirements. So finally Bhagat Singh Sahab, he was sent to trial, and just at 23 he was being executed, Phansi, he was given Phansi. One more picture you see here, this is about the demonstration of Simon Commission. So what happened here is, in 1927, the British government, which was in England, they decided to send a commission, that is a group of people, which was headed by Lord Simon. Now this Lord Simon, they are going to decide the political future of India. So the Indian political future is decided by Britishers, and the problem was, in this commission, there was not a single Indian, no Indian representative. So you are trying to decide India's future, and you don't have Indians. So this created outrage. This people got very angry. So all political groups, they decided to boycott this commission. So this commission, when it arrived, there were demonstration, and Simon go back what this Simon Commission faced when they came to India. Now one more important date, you will realize why 26 January is so important today also. How it started. So this decade 1920 to 1930, it closed with a Congress resolution, and the resolution was all about Purna Swaraj. They said we have to fight for Purna Swaraj, that is we need complete independence. We don't want now some bits and pieces. So in 1929 it happened under the presidentship of Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of Indian National Congress at that time. So now he said that on 26 January 1930, we are going to celebrate Independence Day, Swatantrata Divas on this date. That is how this 26 January has came. Now coming to Gandhi, Gandhi ji has done so many good deeds. One of very important is about salt. Now see salt. Salt is used by rich, salt is used by or eaten by poor also. Without salt you will not be able to eat food. Now this salt, there was a tax on this salt. The government has put salt, and the manufacturing, also the sale of this salt was in the hand of only or monopolized by the Britishers only. There was no Indian involved. So Gandhi said, what is this? You are taxing the salt? This is the most important essential item of anybody's food. So you see the followers, Gandhiji and his followers, they marched for 240 miles. Please remember, 1 mile is 1.6 kilometer. So 240 miles they walked from Sabarmati to coastal town of Dandi. So from Sabarmati they went up to Dandi. So it is near sea coast, and they broke the law by gathering natural salt. So they picked this salt, gathered this natural salt, and they publicly the act salt law they broke. They also took the boiling water, they boiled the water, sea water, and they produced salt from it also. So they wanted to show that we are breaking it in front of you, because this is the essential item. So Gandhiji, if you see, and this is the date 6th April 1930, Dandi I am talking about. So he is picking up the lump of salts, and natural salt basically. One more picture I want to highlight here is what is the route. This is Gujarat I am talking about. This is Sabarmati Ashram, and he started he and his followers, and then 240 miles they were just walking. Remember, so it ends up to Dandi. This must be around 350 or 400 kilometers, I guess. So when we are talking about freedom struggle, there were women also involved. So we just talked about men, but it is not like that. We'll talk about Sarojini Naidu and others also. So either young, old, single, married, the women coming from rural or urban areas, from conservative or liberal homes, they all were involved in some or the other way for the Indian freedom. So their participation cannot be ignored. So I'll talk about Ambabai now. Ambabai was from Karnataka. So she was married when she was just 12. Ambabai from Karnataka married only when she was 12. When she became 16, widowed, and she started picketing Gherao, the foreign cloth and liquor shops in Udupi. I'm talking about Udupi. This is a district in Udupi, very nice place. So she was involved in picketing Gherabandi. Now Ambabai was always arrested. She was sentenced, then rearrested, then she was released, then arrested. So in between, when she comes out of the jail, she made speeches. She used to teach spinning. She also organized Prabhat Feris. So at this time, Ambabai was saying, this time when I am out of the jail, I regard this as the happiest days of my life, because this gives me a new purpose or commitment for my country. So this purpose and commitment is not only shown by Ambabai, but various women from all walks of life. Now you will be surprised to know that I just talked about Dandi March, Salt Satyagraha. So Gandhiji was initially opposing the women participation. The women shouldn't go with us. Sarojini Naidu, she persuaded Gandhiji that we need to have women with us if they want. And then finally Gandhiji agreed. And it was a success, grand success. So as I said, the peasants, tribals, women participated in enormous number. And the government would do what? They would use brutal action, forceful action against these satyagrahis. Thousands of them were sent to jail. So these struggles, those were going on. Finally, they gave result. They bore fruit, it is being said here. The government of India at that time, the British rule, the Government of India Act of 1935. Now it was prescribing the provincial autonomy. Right now we have states. At that time the states were called as province. So governments prescribed as provincial autonomy for different states. And also it announced the elections for provincial legislatures. Wherever province was there was provincial legislature. In 1937, it was Vidhan Sabha like today we have. So they announced elections for these provincial legislatures in 1937. So what happened here is Congress, there were 11 provinces, 7 out of 11, Congress won with flying colors. But in between, one more thing happened. I am talking about 1939. So 1937, Congress won 7 states. From 1939 till 1945, 1 September 1939 till 2nd September 1945. It was Second World War. Basically, Germany was the main key player here. So the British was also one of the party. So British were fighting against the Germans, against the Hitler. So the Congress was against Hitler. Congress was against Hitler because Hitler was ruthlessly killing the Jews. It was basically an ethnic cleansing, gas chamber cleaning. This was being done by Jews, for Jews, by Germans. So Congress were against Hitler. So Congress said, let us support British now, because British is fighting against Hitler. So they just said that we are going to support you, but once the war is over, you have to give us independence. we are going to support you, but you have to free us. But British said no, not possible. And then what happened? Congress ministries resigned from all these seven provinces where they made the government, where they were people will elected of Congress. So provincial autonomy, right now we have states. So the capacity of the provinces to make relatively independent decision while remaining within the federation, that is the Indian Federation. Right now we have the same situation. You see here Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu is with Mahatma Gandhi. This is the picture of Paris 1931. And she was very active. Naidu was a very big leader, significant leader. If you see in Dandi March also, she was involved. So she was the first Indian woman to become the president of Indian National Congress in 1925. This question is asked generally, right? So quit India, and what happened later? So quit India is basically leave India. So Mahatma Gandhi, now he decided that we have to start a new phase of movement. This was done in the middle of World War 39 till 45. It was around 1942 actually. So from 1939 to 1945, it was Second World War. And in between 1942 around, Gandhiji started a new phase in the middle of this war. And he said, now British has to quit. British must quit. This was Quit India movement. Angrezo Bharat Chodo. And he said, you have to do or die, means the people either they do or they die. And you have to do it all non-violently. No one has to take arm, no one has to fight. Even somebody slaps on one cheek, give him second cheek. So Gandhiji and various leaders, they were jailed. And the movement, but it spread across. The peasant and the youth, they just gave up their studies. They joined this Quit India movement. And there are two very important things. Communication media, Britishers were having, and all the symbols which British were having, the state were having. This communication and the landmarks of Britishers, they were attacked all over the country. And some places people set up their own governments. This also happened. So what was the first response? British always repression. So Damankari, they did this thing. And if I give you the statistics, by end of 1943, 90,000 people got arrested. And 1,000 were killed by police firing. Can you imagine? 1,000 were killed by police firing. And finally, because the rebellion was so strong, Indians were so strong, finally, British has to listen and they got to their knees. Right? Because, this will, this commitment, this thought, they can't absorb it. This is a Quit India movement picture of August 1942. You see, demonstrator how they are lying, how they were arrested, they were killed, injured. Now, INA, let us talk about Subhash Chandra Bose. You see, he is a very important key figure. Now, Subhash Chandra Bose, SCB, Indian National Army, what this is all about? He was basically a radical nationalist. He was with the idea that if we do violence also, that is, because they are having an army, we also fight with an army, well-trained army. But Gandhiji was all about non-violence. So he was saying, no, I am against your idea. He was actually praising Gandhiji for everything. But he was against the idea of ahimsa. He was saying that by ahimsa, the father of nation. So what he did was, in January 1941, he secretly left Calcutta. He went to Singapore via Germany. People says that he also met Hitler. So through Germany, via Germany, he went to Singapore. And in Singapore, he created an army that is called as Azad Hind Fauj or Indian National Army, INA we call it, to free India. In 1944, the Indian National Army from the northeast, Imphal and Kohima, they tried to enter. But finally, they were stopped by the Britishers. So the INA members were imprisoned, they were tried, and people across all the country from all walks of life, they participated in the movement against the INA trials, because you know how these trials were going on. So this is the power of Subhash Chandra Bose. So all these key figures, they are very big figures, and we will be talking about all them in just a while. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.